This is Liz Truss, she's the Prime Minister of Britain, and after 4 days of hiding from an appalling economic policy, she was ripped apart by multiple radio stations, all run by the BBC.
Good morning, Prime Minister.
Good morning.
How are you? How are you doing? Have you slept well? Since Friday, since your Chancellor Kwasi Kwarteng's mini-budget, the pound has dropped to a record low. The IMF has said that you should reevaluate your policies, and the Bank of England has had to spend £65 billion to prop up the markets because of what they describe as a material risk. Where have you been?
We had to take decisive action, and that's why we took action to make sure people aren't paying a typical fuel bill of more than £2,500.
Yeah.
That's going to come in this Saturday.
That was before the mini-budget, though, Prime Minister. I'm talking about the last 4 days. Where have you been? Because we've not heard from you in the last 4 days.
Well, I'm here today on Radio Leeds talking to you. This is about Putin and the war in Ukraine. That is why we are.
So the Bank of England's intervention yesterday was the fault of Vladimir Putin, was it?
It's also about how we grow the size of the pie so that everyone can benefit.
By borrowing more and putting our mortgages up.
We need to borrow more this winter for the energy crisis that we're facing. And I think that was the right thing to do.
We're going to spend more in mortgage fees under what you've done based on the predictions than we would have saved with energy.
I don't think anybody is arguing that we shouldn't have acted on energy.
There'll be lots of people who'll be going to work for the NHS in the Queen Elizabeth Hospital today, and they're working in an environment where the roof is held up by, at the last count, 1,500 props. Can you guarantee that Kings Lynn will get a new hospital?
Well, as you know, as a local MP, I've been lobbying very hard to see improvements at the Queen Elizabeth, and I've seen for myself the very difficult situation with the roof. And of course, we have a new Health Secretary, Therese Coffey. I do hope she'll visit the Queen Elizabeth Hospital soon to see the situation there and make sure that action is taken.
She'll be the fourth Health Secretary to have visited. So when is it going to happen?
She will be the one that delivers.
You hope? Norfolk needs this.
I'm not making promises on her behalf, but I will certainly be putting that case as the local MP.
Your local MPs don't want it. All Conservative. In the past, the County Council have said they didn't want it, yet your government overturned it. The science hasn't changed. Why can't you tell us this morning there won't be a return to fracking in Lancashire?
Well, I don't accept the premise of your question.
Why?
This is a crisis, and many people are saying you've made it worse by your actions. Are you going to reverse what was announced in the mini-budget in order to at least make things better now for my listeners who are not sleeping at night?
I don't accept the premise of the question.
The Bank of England have had to bail out your decisions yesterday. The Bank of England have had to step in. The International Monetary Fund have said that they don't think what you've done is a good idea. Is it time to reverse what you've done, bearing in mind what you've seen over the last few days, the damage it's caused to the pound?
Well, no, it isn't. We've also taken action to reduce our tax burden and spur.
Yeah, but Prime Minister, with respect, that is the same scripted answer you've given to every BBC local radio station this morning. You've got the Bank of England stepping in now to try and clean up a mess a government has caused. That has never happened.
Once again, thank you very much for listening. Thanks to all my Patreon and YouTube supporters who keep this channel growing and going. If you'd like to help out with the channel, please consider clicking the subscribe button or the like button or sharing the content.